we break it. We do maybe a half a mile, and then we're stopped again. We back up. So this is how we break it.
From aerial reconnaissance to deploying an ice-breaking ship with a crew of 40, the Canadian Coast Guard works tirelessly to make sure that other ships can pass safely through these frozen waters. This week, we've explored the incredible benefits of our rivers and lakes, not just as a source of recreation and transportation, but also as a source of critical fresh drinking water. You know, when most people look out at a body of water, I don't think they appreciate that in every single drop is an abundance and diversity of life. I think that microscopic plankton is so important to the health of the food chain, and also to understanding the quality of water in those systems. Ecosystems that are so important to not only the health of nature, but to the health of the millions of people who rely on them as a source of fresh water. Now that's it for this week on Awesome Planet. I'm Philippe Cousteau, and we'll see you next time.
Mike with Dom Izzo.
Really? Really, Dom?
No. I like what Dom's doing.
Okay.
Dom Izzo.
Jeez, come on, Dom. What do you think I am, a magician?
Yeah, I'm fired up, Dom. What else could I say?
Absolutely. It was great to get on the field, and then Dom came up to me, and I'm trying to walk away from me. I just wanted to enjoy myself out there.
Hot Mike.
Great job.
There's got to be some kind of intelligent question about something. Is a
Hot Mike.
Hot Mike.
On the networks of WDAY.
You know, if it's not about sports, I find it very hard to concentrate.
Here's Dom Izzo.
Dom Izzo.
Good Friday morning. It is the Clear Out Your Calendars edition of Hot Mike on WDAY Extra, KSFL TV in Sioux Falls at Inforum.com. Happy Friday, everybody, as we've reached the end of another work week. Big holiday weekend on tap with Mother's Day. Everybody get out there, make sure you do something nice for Mom. That includes me too. Ready to wrap up the week in style here. It's not just Mother's Day, it's a holiday weekend for those that love to be on the boat, as the Minnesota Fishing Opener is on tap at 11:59 tonight. I know there'll be people outside. You know, I got to do something here. It annoys the heck out of me. Fidel got me this Masters flag, and it never stays up. Never. Never. There. And it falls down again. This is why we need more production people here on staff to make that work. Annoys the heck out of me. Welcome to the show, everybody, here on this Friday morning. Lots to get to today. You saw early on already in our show a shot from NDSU as we get ready for day 2 of the Summit League Track Championships. Exciting day yesterday. We've got more coverage coming up today. Full day of hopefully on tap. The schedule has been altered today because of impending weather. We know it's not going to be great, and anticipating that, everything has been moved up an hour. So our coverage was set to start at 11. We'll actually begin at 10 o'clock, so you can stream that as well at Inforum.com on WDAY Sports Plus. So it should be good for the first 4 hours of the day, and then early afternoon, some weather is supposed to come in. So they'll be able to compete out there as long as it's no lightning. Anytime we get lightning out there, then we got to stop. But we'll show you a couple highlights from day 1 on the track here coming up in just a few minutes. Of course, the NFL released all the schedules yesterday. We're going to dive in full with what the Vikes have coming up, which is intriguing, I think. They get 5 nationally televised games. I think the part to me is not the actual games. It's how each team releases them. And if you were scrolling through Twitter, wherever last night, you could thoroughly enjoy some of these, including the Chargers had a dynamite one. I thought the Jags had a great one, embracing the NFL as scripted deal, which took off online late last year with some crazy comebacks. Jacksonville's one is really creative. The best one is the Titans. We're going to show you that later on the show. It deserves to be played in full. We're going to do that before we say goodbye here on this Friday. You're also going to meet NDSU's newest football commitment. We've visited with Nate Tastad's head coach yesterday. Today you'll meet the man himself after announcing his verbal commitment to the Bison. So that and a heck of a lot more coming up on a busy Friday. So excited about that. We've got Bison baseball coming up tonight as we hope with the weather. NDSU set to open up a weekend series with Omaha. So plenty going on as we creep into the middle part of May. A week from now, we are having region track meets across the state, and we're starting postseason play in high school athletics. So as much as we were longing for it, now it's already over. It's always how it works with the spring sports season. So we'll buckle up and enjoy that over the next little bit. First, let's start. I know they played yesterday afternoon, and everybody's seen what happened, but the fact how the Twins won is important to show to start our program today as they wrapped up their series with San Diego after winning in walk-off fashion on Wednesday. They get Fernando Tatis, literally the first pitch of the game. He jerks for a solo home run. I mean, that's what he does to get San Diego out. I like the sombrero celebration, by the way. It's a 1-all game when Juan Soto gets the craziest double you can imagine to score. Manny Machado makes it a 2-1 Padre lead in the fourth. Kyle Farmer is back, and he can do this off Yu Darvish, 433 feet to the second deck in left field to tie the game up at 2. San Diego would go in front 3-2 in the fifth inning after Farmer circles the bases here. Now some defense. How about that from Nick Gordon? That's not Byron Buxton out there, but Gordon saves extra bases on a fabulous catch. Again, he plays all over. If he can start hitting the ball, becomes even more valuable to the Twins. It's a 3-all game when Carlos Correa delivers down the left field line. Ryan Jeffers and Michael A. Taylor would come in to score. And the Twins grab a 5-3 lead in the bottom of the seventh. Correa with a big-time hit. And then some more defense. Taylor diving catch here in the top of the eighth inning with the Padres already had a man on. And the Twins hold on and beat San Diego 5-3 the final in this final game of the set. And they take the series from the Padres 2-1. Good San Diego team. And that's a couple of good wins for the Twins after scuffling with some bad teams like the White Sox and the Guardians. They're able to come back home and put together a nice win. Bailey Ober gets a no decision yesterday. He goes 6 innings, allows 6 hits, strikes out 6. Our guy, Emilio Pagan, gets the win. Look at that now, 3-0. An inning of relief and struck out 1. Didn't allow a hit or a walk. Brock Stewart was good again in the bullpen as the Twins take 2 of 3. You saw, we mentioned that during the show yesterday on the news on Tyler Malley. And I was wrong. I'm going to admit this flat out. What they gave up for Malley are not scrubs. Those are 3 of the top 30 prospects that the Twins had in their system. One of them is already in the majors, hit a home run yesterday for the Reds against the Mets. So this may very well come back to haunt them in a big-time way. You hope not, but one guy's in the majors, one's coming, another one's hurt right now, but still is viewed as a big league prospect. So, and Malley's done. The Twins aren't re-signing him. As you look at the up-to-date standings now in the American League Central, as the Twins will begin to play National League teams, now 3 games up on Detroit, 3.5 on Cleveland. With the rest of the division, I'm already not even counting them. They're irrelevant here at the bottom part of the standings here in the middle part of May. Twins and the Cubs will begin a weekend series tonight at Target Field. I would imagine some decent crowds over the weekend. With being Mother's Day, I know that'll be a big draw coming up on Sunday. But it's Chicago, and it's not the White Sox. The Cubs will have a following that'll be at Target Field. It'll be Sonny Gray and Drew Smiley tonight. Joe Ryan will go on Saturday, and then Louis Varlin will start the finale on Sunday with a couple of day games. And a heads up, and we'll mention this in What to Watch before we say goodbye. Tonight's game is a Apple TV Plus special. So for those looking for the game on Bally Sports North, you're not going to find it tonight. It's on Apple TV for the Cubs and the Twins. We mentioned the opening day of Summit League Track yesterday. Shout out to our crew. That was awesome stuff to watch. I know track sometimes, especially on television, may not be the most thrilling, but we pulled off, I think it was 9 hours of live coverage yesterday on the opening day. And especially yesterday was more field events than anything. So it's not conducive to watching stuff on the track. Today we'll have more events. Actually, the running prelims will go today. But the Bison have feasted in the throwing events over their span of the Summit League. And it happened again yesterday, beginning in the hammer throw, where Trevor Otterdahl captured that championship. He was the favorite going in, and he delivered a mark of 225 feet and 1 inch to win the hammer throw. Second consecutive year he did that. On the women's side, there was a bit of a surprise in the pole and the javelin, Alex Segrist won, a freshman, claiming that was 155 feet, 6 inches to take home the javelin, which is the 9th straight time the Bison have won the conference meet in the javelin. And then there was another surprise in the men's javelin. The Bison won that. They were expected to, but it was Matt Kraft who won it, beating Benji Phillips, who was the reigning champ in this event. Kraft threw 3 throws over 233 feet. This one goes 233 feet, 8 inches. I always marvel at the javelin. That, to me, is one of the cooler events. That and the pole vault. This was the best. We got this shot of the winning throw. His teammates going nuts for him. I thought that was pretty cool yesterday. So the Bison take 3 individual titles on day one, led by Otterdahl and Kraft on the men's side and Segrist on the women's side. The scoring so far through the first day on the women's side, USD has a sizable lead. The Coyotes stacked up some wins, too, on the throwing side of things. USD, of course, is going for another championship. They have 62.5 points. The Bison have 35.5. Meanwhile, the Bison men have a 5-point lead on SDSU. NDSU with 44, the Jacks with 39 through 3 events on the men's side, 4 on the women, and a bunch more titles up today. They'll finish the decathlon and the heptathlon. The Bison actually lead in both of those through the first events there. And then we've got finals in the long jump, the shot put, and the high jump. And the Bison are favored in a couple of those events. And then we got later tonight the final in the steeplechase, which, again, is another one of my favorite events because of how awkward it is. And then you've got a bunch of prelims today with the finals coming up tomorrow. So, again, our coverage will begin an hour earlier than expected because of the weather. So everything's going to start at 10 a.m. today with the field events and the track events all moved up as well. So coverage of that coming up. WDAY Sports Plus will be your home for that. And we'll, of course, feature anything and everything on our news tonight at 6 and 10. And a busy, busy night for everything that's going on around the area. Big show coming up for you today. Logan Campbell will be back with us at 9:35. Logan was out at track yesterday, so we'll get her thoughts on what she saw out there and visited with the Bison baseball team as well. As we mentioned, we had Tyler Oakes on the show yesterday, previewing NDSU series coming up here with Omaha. We'll chat about that. Also, her Washington Commanders have theirs, with part of the entire league, have their schedule out. We'll go through that, see what she thinks about 2023 coming up at 9:35. At 10 o'clock, you'll hear from NDSU's newest football commit, Nate Tastad from Rolette, North Dakota. Plays at North Prairie, the co-op of Rolette, Rock Lake, and Rolla. The 3rd commit for the Bison class of 2024. You'll hear about Nate's journey to becoming a Bison. It was almost kind of, I don't know if preordained is too strong a word, but it's pretty cool stuff. So he'll join us coming up at 10 o'clock this morning. I mentioned how busy a weekend it is. We've got the opener this weekend, Mother's Day, a bunch of sporting events. The Fargo Force are still playing hockey. We mentioned they won earlier this week to beat Lincoln. They'll open the Clark Cup Finals tonight at Shields Arena against the Youngstown Phantoms. Games 1 and 2 are this weekend, tonight and tomorrow. Youngstown, by the way, with one of the best jersey combinations in hockey. The Force beat Youngstown to win the Clark Cup in 2018 and looking to win a second championship. Of course, they were there in 2021, lost in the finals and to Chicago. Now back again after a down year in 2022, and here they are in 23, back with Nick Oliver leading the way and a chance to win the championship. So that you add on top of what's going on this weekend. The Redhawks started their season last night on the road. They have their opener, I believe, on Monday because they're squeezing in because the Bison are here. So it's, we get to this time of the year, you think, people ask me, is this your time when things kind of relax and stuff? I'm like, yes and no. I mean, this week we have been just news-filled every single day. Every day we've had stuff going on, whether it was Bison football announcing they got a couple of games coming, recruiting stuff happening, you name it, we've had things going on. So it's been a fun week and looking forward to see what happens this weekend. We'll take a break. We come back. Tom Hoagie's playing already on the golf course and tearing things up. We'll update you from that. And our first look at the full Vikings schedule for 2023. Hot mic off and rolling on a Friday. We're back after this on WDAY Extra, KSFL TV in Sioux Falls at Inforum.com. Don't forget our Summit League Track Championship coverage coming up, actually at 10 because of the weather. Tomorrow, with the air at noon. Everything is streaming online, inforum.com. You can't miss it on the main page, WDAY Sports Plus. We've got, Eric, how many cameras? 10? Is that what you told me? 10 cameras. I'm saying 10. 10 sounds better than 7. There's cameras all over the place, including this one you can see trackside. You can't miss. I mean, literally, I'm watching last night of the main feed, which is going between the javelin to the pole vault. I watched the end of the 10,000 meters. I mean, I'm not a huge track guy. I enjoy watching when we get to the NCAA championships coming up here in a few weeks, which are going to be in Austin, Texas this year. That'll be warm and delayed by weather. You can bet $1,000 on that. But I enjoy the intensity of that. And the fact we're doing this is tough. In terms of tough productions, the marathon ranks right up there. This might be right underneath it. You know, doing 4 basketball games is nothing compared to this. This is tough sledding. So cool to see. And part of 3, again, we're talking about, you know, slowing down. Well, we got this week. We got 2 baseball games next week, and then the Summit League baseball tournament after that. So there's no slowing down for what we're doing around here. And that's good stuff, and looking forward to seeing what happens over the next couple of days. We mentioned it on top of everything else happening. Fargo's Tom Hoagie back on the golf course after a couple weeks off at the AT&T Byron Nelson in his backyard. Played yesterday afternoon, part of the featured coverage. Again, pretty nice now after he picks up a PGA win, finishes in the top 30 of the FedEx Cup. You get more television opportunities. I don't know about that means on the weekend, but at least on Thursday and Friday is. And yesterday was back on the featured groups, and everybody was going low yesterday. One guy shot 60 yesterday, which is 11 under par. Hoagie was even through his first 4 holes, and then an eagle chip in at the 5th hole, got his round jump-started. Then at the 6th, makes this putt for birdie. So he gets off to a nice start, goes eagle birdie to get to 3 under par. At the 9th, they actually gave him an extra birdie here. That putt actually got him to 4 under on the round, and he ended up shooting that on his scorecard for the day. So shoots a 4 under 67. He's actually moved up already 9 spots as he teed off at 7:30 this morning. He's playing the back 9 first. And again, you can stream this as well. He has birdied his first 2 holes, then just made a bogey at 16. So he is 1 under on the round, 5 under through the tournament, through 7 holes of his second round, as he sits, I believe it's 6 shots off the lead. Again, the leader shot 60 yesterday. The scores are going to be low this weekend at the Byron Nelson. This in anticipation of next week, which is the PGA Championship, the second major of the golf year, which is being played at Oak Hill Country Club, one of the toughest golf courses in the country, in Rochester, New York. And, of course, Hoagie finished in the top 10 at the PGA last year. He's hoping for another big major finish. So we'll update his round as our show goes on this morning, looking for him to play the weekend. And that's in McKinney, Texas, at the Byron Nelson. Okay, we've waited long enough. We're going to talk plenty on the NFL schedule, so let's rip the lid off it and give it to you now with first the Minnesota Vikings. Now, we knew leaving yesterday, we knew one of the games at least. We knew the Vikings were going to play on New Year's Eve night at home at US Bank Stadium against the Packers. And now we can fill in the rest of the schedule, which, as I mentioned off the top, includes 5 primetime matchups. So you win 13 games, you win your division, somebody must think you're going to be pretty good the following season. So let's look at what the Vikes have for 2023, which will begin at home with Cody Mauch and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That'll be game number 1. And by the way, we talked about the TV stuff. It already is weird because 2 NFC teams, but it's going to be on CBS to start off the year. And then look at that. Game number 2 at Philly on a Thursday night. So you got Amazon Prime for the second year in a row, the Vikings play a primetime game in Philly. You remember last year they played Monday Night Football in Philadelphia. How'd that go? Not well. Then they're back home for Justin Herbert and the Chargers. Then they go to Carolina and a matchup with Adam Thielen for the first Sunday in October. Then it's back home for Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City. Note that one. That's a late start, 3:25, so a national TV window in that game for Mahomes and the Chiefs at US Bank Stadium. Then it's a game at the Bears. Then a Monday night game at home with, is it Trey Lance? Is it Brock Purdy? Either way, it's San Francisco. That will be juiced up there on Monday night, right before Halloween. Then it's the Packers for their second division game of the season. Both of them will have been on the road by then, by the way, right before Halloween, as they play 3 of 4 on the road, at Chicago, at Green Bay, and then at Atlanta to start off November. Then it's home for the Saints, a Sunday night game at Denver. This looks sweet, Eric, by the way. This is really cool. At Denver against the Broncos on Sunday Night Football. Then a Monday night game against Chicago. Now, let's preface that Week 12 game, because that's when Monday Night Football can start flexing games. So it's not guaranteed that's a Monday night home game against the Bears. They will be at home. It's not guaranteed they're going to be on Monday Night Football. Then they have their bye week really late. The first week of December, they come out of that at the Raiders, at the Bengals. Now, that one also can be moved to a Saturday. That would be tough. You got to go all the way to Vegas and then back on the road and have a short week against Cincinnati. Then it's home for the Lions on Christmas Eve. We mentioned the Packers game on New Year's Eve on NBC, Sunday Night Football. And then they end the season with the Lions. So 2 of the last 3 matching up with Detroit. That is difficult. Overall, I'll go back to the top half of the schedule. 3 of the first 5 games, this is brutal. You're playing Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert, and Patrick Mahomes for a defense that was bad last year. There's no other way to say it. That's a struggle. You better have it figured out, because those 3 quarterbacks can torch you. I don't care if you're at home like they are for the Chargers and the Chiefs. That can be awfully difficult. You're going to need to win those games against the NFC South. The South is bad, as Drew Trafton was pointing out to us on Wednesday. So you best get Tampa. You best win that game in Carolina. And the later games, the back-to-back ones with Atlanta and New Orleans. Their AFC crossover game, could it be any harder? You're playing the Bengals. And obviously the road games with Denver and Vegas thrown in there. I was a little surprised, honestly. They got as many national TV windows as they did, honestly. That was pretty eye-opening to me. So that's the full schedule. Again, Amazon Prime for Week 2 against Philly. Couple of Monday Nighters, which will both be at home. Couple of Sunday night games as well. Now, before we wrap up, just noting this as well on the NFL schedule, that ESPN and ABC are going to be adding more games to Monday Night Football, which is cool for WDAY. Not going to lie, anytime we get NFL on WDAY, it's a pretty big deal. And get this. So this year, there'll be 7 games on ABC WDAY this upcoming season. Led off by the Bills and the Jets. That's a simulcast game. And then the next 2 weeks, they have standalone games. They have the Browns and the Steelers, Eagles at the Buccaneers, Eagles at the Chiefs. That's a simulcast game, the rematch of Super Bowl 57. Then later in the season, Packers at the Giants. That'll be a good one. Ravens, 49ers. And then on December 30th, the Lions and the Cowboys will play in Week 17. So ABC flexing its muscles as well, getting more games on the calendar. There was one other thing I wanted to point out, and this may rankle some feathers because I saw this later in the season. I think it's right after Christmas or right before Christmas. It's right before Christmas. Because we know there's 3 games on Christmas Day, which are all rivalry games, by the way. December 23rd, that's Saturday, the NFL has put 2 games on there. One is a Saturday afternoon game on NBC, Bengals-Steelers. They also put a game exclusively on Peacock, Bills-Chargers. That's a good game. It's not like they put it like Titans-Texans. The NFL decided to put 2 playoff teams from a year ago on an exclusive streaming game. And I understand Amazon Prime has its own deal, but that's for the entire season. That's a game that may ruffle some feathers. And I understand. I'm full on board on streaming. You gotta, if you're a sports fan, you gotta have it. You gotta pay the money to watch what you want to watch. Like I want to watch the Premier League. I have to have Peacock. It's the way it works. And now they've put select Notre Dame games on there. I believe the season opener this year for Notre Dame is not on NBC. It's on Peacock. They're doing this more and more to entice you to get it. What's the one thing they can absolutely guarantee? And I'm not sure if it's going to be, I doubt it'll be free like the Black Friday game is. What's the one thing they can do to make sure you pay for it? Put an NFL game on there. And they're doing that with a good game with the Bills and the Chargers. We'll have much more on the Vikes schedule and a couple other teams, including apparently everyone's favorite, the New York Jets. We'll do that coming up later on in the show. We'll take a break. Hot Mic continues on a busy Friday after this on WDAY Extra, KSFL TV in Sioux Falls at Inforum.com.
with me or something. What?
Oh, no, she did not.
I hear her hair's insured for $10,000.
We need someone there that knows what they're doing, obviously.
All right, Friday, and Logan's here. You can say hello to everybody in Sioux Falls in South Dakota. You weren't on last week, so this is week 2 of us in South Dakota. So I know you're very popular there. So
am I? I don't think I've ever been on the TV down there.
Well,
Didn't make my
so
South Dakota debut.
So welcome to the show. We got a fun segment coming up. We were just doing the Vikes schedule. We're gonna go through the Commanders. How many games did they get on TV? Any?
One. I guess
one?
Like prime time?
Yes.
Just one against the Bears. Because we all couldn't get enough of last year's game.
Oh, yeah.
So we get another one.
Ooh, boy.
Well, do we consider Thanksgiving games primetime games?
That's a nationally televised game, so yeah, that's 2 then.
Then we get 2.
So you got who's Thanksgiving against?
Cowboys. So they traditionally play pretty well on Thanksgiving, so that should hopefully be good.
They play all the time.
Honestly, the schedule is terrible.
That's the late game, right? So I can sleep through that one. Then.
No, I think they play at 4. Yeah,
that's
3.
the late.
I was about to say.
I mean the late game.
I was about to say 4:25, and it's still on Eastern time. Still on Eastern time, even though I've lived here for 2 years.
I mentioned this earlier that it's not about the actual schedule anymore. The social media teams for each of these teams are really impressive. Did when you were working for the command, how big a deal was this about getting the schedule deal and
it was
having
a big
cool
deal.
video for it?
It was a big deal. I know the video was like the biggest part about it all.
Yeah.
I had nothing to do with the videos. That was a whole separate creative team. But they spent like months and months. As soon as like playoffs were over, it was how do we plan for this?
No kidding.
And how do we plan for the draft?
Wow.
So it like literally as soon as your season's done, is you start planning for this. And some of the videos I saw were so good.
Yeah, each team is now, ESPN did a whole segment on it earlier this week where each team is now trying to the other on literally trying to own this day.
Yes.
Jacksonville had a really good one yesterday.
I really like
embracing the and the NFL a scripted deal.
Well, that one didn't get as much recognition as I thought it should have.
No, hopefully it'll get a little bit more run today. The Chargers anime one, which they did for the second year in a row, was really, really good, including a shot at the Vikings, which I thought was hilarious.
Well, that's the best part of all of these are all like the different shots that they take.
The subtle hints. You got to look for it. Like
yes,
on the,
you do.
On the Chargers one, when they highlight each team, like they had for the Lions, it came up with a gambling ad, which is a shot at the Lions because they just had 4 guys busted.
I thought it was so funny. Well, for that one, I saw like a thread of like screenshots from like each opponent, and I was like looking at all the little
and the
things
Vikings
in there.
one, they have birds flying into U.S. Bank Stadium, which was a thing when the place opened that birds were going to die hitting the glass windows at U.S. Bank Stadium.
It's so funny, like how much goes into those videos.
But number one, we're going to play this. We're going to play it in its entirety because it's awesome. Is what the Titans did yesterday.
This one. My favorite one.
I'm not going to spoil anything else. All right, Eric, here we go. This is what the Titans did yesterday for their schedule release.
St. Louis Rams.
Oh.
Lightning McQueen.
No.
Oh, that's just the football logo.
The Boston Bobcats. No idea.
Cowboys, yeah. Baltimore Orioles.
This one is the Red Stallions.
49 to 69ers. 49er Cowboys.
No. Stars.
It's a Pirates from the islands of the Caribbean.
Chester Cheeto.
Tigers. North Carolina Tigers.
Texas. That's the Cowboys. Texas. Got that.
Yeah. Atlanta.
That's it.
Florida.
Florida Dolphins.
Oh, Texans. Eagles. From Pittsburgh. Who's that? Bulls? Who? Patriots? That's the Patriots logo. That it actually does not exist. That is Nashville, Tennessee.
Tennessee Titans.
Titans. Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans. Woo!
Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans.
Tennessee Titans. Wait, what? Good job. Yeah. Awesome.
That is tremendous.
I love that one.
That's really good. That's really, really good.
That one was by far my favorite one.
I think they should be called the Atlanta Red Stallions now. I'm on board with that.
You forgot the RAR. Did you see that they changed their name to that?
No,
Falcons
did they really do?
They changed their name to that. And I want to give a shout out to Kyle because he had a funny tweet this morning.
Kyle Emanuel tweeted out the fact that
proud member of the Lightning McQueens. And I just love how confident they were when they said it.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, they actually the Falcons. That's their official handle now as Red Stallions up there. That's great.
I just want to know where the Stallions came from when you're looking at that. I mean, it's pretty creative mind.
The one guy who said Chester Cheeto.
That one was awesome. I thought that one was really funny.
I really enjoyed how confident a couple of them were about the Cowboys ones. And
the Cowboys. I'm just like looking at that. I was like, wait, they're going to play them twice?
If you're not and there's Kyle's tweet there, proud former Lightning McQueen.
That is I think I'm all in for the Chargers changing their name to that.
But if you're not a football fan and you see those for the first time, like, you'd have no, outside of the ones that actually have the name, like the Steelers do.
I think it would be
logo,
hard.
Yeah, you'd have no idea.
No idea.
You'd never watch.
And I said this to you, and I'll say it on air. How many of those people do you think were sober
So
while they did this? Because Broadway.
I've never been to Nashville,
Okay,
so I'm looking forward to
like-
going in a couple years when the Bison are there.
That's like the main strip where
Okay,
all the bars
that's where the
are.
draft was a couple years ago.
Yes, and I was there. It was awesome. Nashville is the best. Bison Nation. Yeah, Broadway's the best. Like Bison Nation's literally gonna tear that place apart when they go. I'm not even kidding.
So it was. So are you saying the chances of those people being of right mind was low?
Maybe for some of them. I don't know.
Looked like it was there in the middle of the day. It's not like
Have
it
you
was at
heard
night.
of day drinking?
I guess. Holy cow!
If I was there,
gosh darn it, that's funny.
I like that one. I think they probably won the schedule release video.
Yeah, that's just hilarious to me. So I appreciate them going above and beyond.
Did your Jets do a good one?
They had a couple good ones. I mean, it was not bad. It was not to this level.
Okay.
I appreciate the Cardinals didn't even do anything. The Cardinals just put out their schedule, much like they did with their uniforms and basically didn't care. They did that with their schedule too.
Well, if you're part of the Cardinals organization, what do you I mean, you got to get excited about something, but
so.
you would think this would be it.
All right. Well, let's do your Commander's schedule, shall we?
Let's do
so
it.
this is what Washington will have for 2020. How many games did you win last year? 5? What did you win?
I actually don't know. I think we were 500, maybe right below.
8-1. Yep. You're
I
right
forgot
on
we had a tie.
500. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
Tie with the Giants.
I don't think we'll be 500 this year, though.
More?
Less.
Oh, okay.
I think.
So you start at home with the Cardinals.
Starting off with a win.
All right. You're probably going to win that game,
Yep.
right?
I think Denver will also be a
trip
win.
to Denver.
I think, well.
The Broncos they can't be as bad as they were last year.
And away games are always a struggle for Washington. But
So you're saying 1-1 or 2-0?
No, I'm going to go 2-0.
Okay. Then home for the Bills.
Yeah,
You're not winning that
Nope,
game.
absolutely not. We are not going to beat the Eagles.
At Philly. Not going to win that.
Absolutely not.
Okay, so 2-2 when you host the Bears on Prime. That's a Thursday nighter with 8 people watching. Will you even watch?
Yes, of course I'm going to watch.
What do you think the attendance will be for that on a Thursday night
I
in
think
DC?
it'll be good. Primetime games usually do pretty well, like with attendance,
Okay.
I think.
All right.
So that one's a toss-up. I'm going to go with a win, though. I'm going to be optimistic heading into the season.
Okay, so 3-2, and then at Atlanta.
Win.
Win on that one?
Yes.
4-2 at the Giants.
No, they can never beat the Giants on the road.
4-3. Home for the Eagles.
No, not a win.
4-4 at the Patriots.
Yes, I think that's a win.
Really?
Well,
all right. I don't know about New England.
I'm just basing it off
I'll
of
say that.
last year, though. But then also Washington's going to be so different this year, so I don't know.
This is tough. You go from one end of the country to the other. At Seattle.
No, not a win.
Okay, so 5-5. Home for the Giants.
I don't think that they're going to win that one
So
either.
swept by the Giants. So you're 5-6.
Yeah.
At the Cowboys on Thanksgiving.
I don't think they're going to win that one. I want to say yes, but I don't think that they will.
5-7. Home for the Dolphins.
No, I don't think they'll win that
5-8. Then your the bye week is really late. It's in December. It's actually after the Viking bye week.
These last 4 games are just really unfair.
So 5-8 at the Rams. The Rams aren't good. Win that game.
They have to be better this year than they were last year. They have to be. And they're at LA. I don't think they're going to win.
Okay, so there's 5-8 at the Jets. You're not winning that game.
No, we're not going to win that one.
5-9.
Let's do Hot Mic Live from the parking lot of that game.
That's Christmas Eve. I don't think I'm going to be available. That's Christmas Eve that day.
Never mind.
Home for the 49ers.
I don't think they're going to win that one.
Now you're 5-11. Home for the Cowboys.
I think maybe they'll win that one because the Cowboys probably will be in the playoffs and they'll rest their guys.
6-11. On May 12th, you're saying 6 wins.
Yeah.
Who's your quarterback?
Sam Howell, baby.
Woo!
The future is bright in Washington, clearly. That's the thing. I don't know what the team's going to look like when the season actually rolls around because we literally only saw 1 game of him.
Yeah, and it was the end of the year. And,
I know, and it doesn't count. Well, I mean, it counts, but, like, you're not playing against the starters.
6
so that's the thing.
and
I
11.
don't know what this team is actually going to look like with him under center.
Yeah, you know what? I think you're probably I'd say 6-11 or 7-10. I think you're probably in that ball yard. I do.
Which is very unfortunate, but I don't know.
You got to get those first. Let's just say this: if you don't win those first 2, then it could be real bad.
I could see us splitting with the Giants, maybe.
Yeah. I think the Giants are all right, though. Giants are not bad.
I don't think they're definitely not going to beat the Eagles. I don't see them beating the Cowboys unless they bench their starters that last game.
And you're probably not beating the 49ers.
No.
No.
It's a tough schedule. A tough schedule.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll take a break. We haven't done trivia time with Logan. We're going to do that. We come back. We got some good ones, including emails that have come in to ask you as well.
Stacey said that he was going to do a really hard one for me.
We got one from him as well. We'll do that when we wrap up hour 1 of Hot Mic. We'll do that right after this. All right, wrapping up our first hour. Again, Summer League Track Championships will resume at the top of the hour. You can stream that at inforum.com, WDAY Sports Plus. I know it looks calm out there now, but they actually are starting at 10 a.m. With the resumption of the heptathlon and then the decathlon to wrap up things there, which is a perfect segue as we welcome back Logan Campbell, as we normally do each and every Friday for our new viewers in Sioux Falls who don't know. Logan joins us each Friday. We play our What Does Logan Know? Now, normally...
not a lot.
No, the first few times we questioned you on the state of Virginia and everything because you're from Virginia. For people that don't know, Logan's a native Virginian. It's for lovers.
Virginia is for lovers. I have a T-shirt that says
it is
that.
the Commonwealth, not a state. It's a Commonwealth.
Mm-hmm.
We've asked you up and down on that. Today, I'm staying away from that, just so you're aware. Okay? I'm keeping things mostly in the sports realm, at least for the questions I have. We do have 2 submitted from viewers and or work colleagues, just so you're aware.
And will I get the names of these people that sent in the questions?
You will not.
Okay.
Well, Eric, what are you doing?
Well, Stacy said,
yeah.
No, I don't. I don't see I'm not on the hot mic thread. I don't see these.
All right,
I
that's
don't
good.
see these.
It'll be a surprise.
But Stacy did say that it made him mad when I'm pointing at the camera. I said, "Gotcha, Stacy."
Yeah.
So he said he was going to do
well,
a hard one.
after you got Christopher Newport a couple weeks ago, you had to get that one right.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, since you were up at track yesterday, we're going to start there. Okay?
Oh, okay.
Yes, we're going to start with track.
I was getting track stresses me out. Okay.
All right,
I'm
so the heptathlon is wrapping up today. How many events are in the heptathlon?
Isn't that 10? No, decathlon's 10.
Decathlon is 10. How many are in the heptathlon?
See, I'm not good at math, and I know that we learned this in math.
The heptathlon.
Geometry. No, was that geometry you learned that stuff in? Heptat. 6, 8. 6, 8. No, that's octagon. Is 8.
So this is great. You're working this out. Yes, keep it going.
This is how I think.
You're
I
figuring it
process
out.
by elimination.
Okay.
Heptathlon. 6.
That's your final answer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, it's not.
What
it's
is it?
7.
No!
7. 7 events are in the heptathlon.
So close. No math questions.
Now
no
I'm going to
math
get even
questions.
harder for you.
Okay.
Can you name 2 of the events in the heptathlon?
Javelin throw.
Javelin is one of them.
And shot put.
Bang! There you go. Bam!
I should be a track athlete.
Do you want to get the other 5? You want to try? What else is in the heptathlon?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. Is this a bonus question?
Yeah, this doesn't count.
So what did I say? Javelin throw?
You got the
shot
javelin
put.
and the shot.
Long jump.
Long jump is in there. That's 3.
What's the one where they go on the pole? Pole vault. Pole vault.
Pole vault is not.
It's not?
No, that's
running?
in the decathlon,
Okay.
not in the hep. There is lots of running.
200 meter.
200 is there. That's 4.
I don't even know what kind of race track events there are. No relay race.
No. This is all individual.
100.
That's 5. You got 2 to go.
Oh, or how many more field events are there?
1.
Oh, the high jump.
Yep, that's 6.
So close. Is there a 50-meter dash? That's not on there, though. I said 100, 200, 400.
No. You got one more guess.
I don't even know what's after or what would be in between 100, 200. And it's not 50.
No. You want to give it to you? It's the 8. 800.
Really?
800 meters is the last one.
Okay,
yes.
I wasn't going to say
It's
that.
100, high jump, shot put, 200, the long jump, the jav, and the 800 meters.
I was close.
That was good.
That was pretty
really good.
I'm really impressed with myself.
I guarantee there are people out there who could not name, A, don't know how many events there are, B, couldn't name one of them. So
There
that's
we
good.
go.
There you go.
I'm
Very
surprised
good.
the pole vault's not in that. But
Pole
I guess
vault,
that makes sense.
pole vault's in the decathlon, in the
Okay.
men's. Okay, off your beloved Commanders. How many times now has Washington played on Thanksgiving?
Oh my gosh. Since they were started?
Yes, since the franchise came around. How many times have they played on Thanksgiving?
Not including this year?
This is, I'm counting this coming year.
Okay. I don't think they played last year. They played when I was there. And that was terrible. I was working from home while everyone was eating. That was a terrible Thanksgiving. But they won, so I guess that was exciting.
That's right. They did win that game in 2020. That was the last time.
I'm going to throw out a random number because I feel like it's quite a bit. 23 times.
Wow, that's a lot. It's not. 13.
I was going to say 13 next. Dang it. I was going to say 13 next.
13.
I knew a 3 was going to be at the end of it. Dang, I was going to say 13
So
next.
when you say were you in the building or were you literally in your house?
We couldn't travel because of COVID.
Yeah.
It was like during that COVID year.
Right.
So I was at home while everyone's eating, like trying to watch the TV, and it was like lagging. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I have to like tweet everything out and like put out these articles like after something happens. I was like, this is the most stressful thing. And everyone's like, come drink. I'm like, I'm working. I cannot drink right now.
All right, this is submitted. That one was submitted. This one is submitted as well.
Okay.
How many production people, not including talent,
this is the Stacy question.
does it take for WDAY to broadcast a Bison football game?
Not including talent.
Not including the pretty people.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to think of the people that, the freelancers that we have, too. So, we got Eric, Kyle.
Oh, you're going to name everybody?
Well, this is helping me. But then if I forget
we
someone, I'm going to feel
stuff
bad.
to do in the show.
Well, this is helping me. Are we including like parabolic people?
Yep.
Okay.
Everybody's included, I would imagine, then with the number
so
I have.
Matt Henson, we're including in this as well.
He's always included, yeah.
Okay.
Believe me, he got on many a broadcast last year by talking near the parabolic, so.
We're already at 10.
It is north of 10.
I know.
It is north of 15, I will tell you that. I
know.
Okay?
It's somewhere in the 20s or 30s. I'm just trying to, do we have 2 engineers that come and do these games? Do we have 1 engineer?
Normally we have
2.
More than 2, actually, sometimes I've seen.
Really?
I've seen sometimes.
I always see Danzel and Alex.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna guess 26.
Oh, close. 22.
No.
It would have been 26 if you count me, you,
I was
Kyle,
gonna say
and Jeff.
23 again.
It'll get us to 26.
There, I included everyone. I just don't want anyone to feel left out. That's a lot.
That is, I honestly, it takes an army. And
It
there's
does.
confirmation there. So, very good. Yeah. Eric's asking how many are doing Summit League track right now.
Well, it's pretty
Which is
much
more than I thought.
It's pretty much everyone that's on the production side, plus the 3 talent people. There's 3 talent people that we have.
I believe
there.
so. Yep.
So it would be like probably around, probably not as many as 26, but
No.
it's probably like 17, 15.
I think it's 13, isn't it? I don't even know what the number is. I don't even.
Eric, do you even know what the number is?
No. 14.
Okay, so we all are around
So
the
there you go.
same range. That was a good question, Stacy.
It was pretty good, right?
That was a good one.
Kind of shows you how much people actually take to pull off doing a football game each and every Saturday.
Yes.
Great stuff. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you.
Happy Mom's Day to your mom.
Yes,
All
happy
right.
Mother's Day to my mom and birthday.
Is that right?
Mhm.
Same day?
Yes.
Double whammy.
It's like every year. It's
Is
the same
that
one.
right?
Mhm.
Wow. So what do you do there? Do you get 2 gifts?
Yeah, we do gifts. We normally go to a winery. I think my brother and sister are going with her because they're the only 2 ones that are home. So we do that with her and her mom. So it's a fun day.
That's cool.
It's a fun
Very
Mother's
cool.
Day. Yep.
Have a great weekend. Thanks for
Thank
coming
you.
by.
Thanks for having
Logan
me.
Campbell joining us here each and every Friday. We'll take a break. We come back. The Fargo Forest begin the Clark Cup Finals tonight. We'll preview that. Jon Kram, general manager at Shields Arena, will get us ready for what should be a packed night out at the rink. Hour 2 of Hot Mic begins right after this.
This is Hot Mike.
Hot Mike.
On the networks of WDAY.
WDAY.
Here's Dom Izzo.
Welcome back, everybody, to Hot Mike here on a busy Friday morning. We mentioned so much stuff going on this weekend. We're going to preview the fishing opener here in a few minutes. The Red Hawks opened up their season last night on the road. We've got the track championships going on the north side of town. And hockey season is still going. The Fargo Force are back in the Clark Cup Finals again. Remarkably, the sixth time since this franchise started playing hockey way back in 2008, 2009. They're back there again as they'll open up a series with the Youngstown Phantoms tonight, the same team they beat to win the championship in 2018. It's great to welcome back to our show General Manager out of Shields Arena. Jon Kram is good enough to give us a few minutes on a busy day. It's game day as game one of the Clark Cup Finals drops the puck later tonight. I'm sitting here. It's May the 12th, and we're still playing hockey. That must mean things have gone awfully well out there.
That it has. It's always fun if we're playing in May. That means we've had a great season so far. You know, we're the Anderson Cup champs, which means we've won the regular season first time in history. So we get the home ice advantage all playoffs. And boy, if you watch the first couple series, our guys are playing well. I mean, that game in Lincoln, game 4, scoring 5 goals in the third period. I mean, most teams don't score 5 all game. Yeah. So hopefully we continue to start tonight that way.
Okay, I have to ask now. I don't want to jinx it, but in 2018, you guys won this. How heavy is that? The Clark? It's huge. First off, how heavy is it?
It's as heavy as it looks. I had the opportunity to lift it. So, but for some reason you don't notice in the moment.
Is it awkward too? Because it's so big. Was it awkward to lift?
It was a little bit. It's about a 4-foot wingspan, it seems like, to elevate that. And we'll have it on display tonight and tomorrow night for everyone to come look. We'll make sure people know where that 2018-19 championship team is represented.
That's awesome. I remember when it was hosted a couple years ago, you guys had it front and center by the old media deck, and that was a sight to behold. So just that, describe this, John, now, we were talking off air, this late in the year, there's so much other stuff happening. You mentioned the openers this weekend for people to go on the boat, that the weather has turned, and yet you guys are still doing really well crowd-wise. Tell me about how proud you are of that's still getting that many people in the door.
Yeah, I think if you back up this whole season, you saw an amazing support from our community. I think we had 12 games over 4,000, which is one of the best years we've ever had. It's continued into the postseason. I think some of the stuff we do off the ice has really helped. I mean, we make it a very family-friendly kid environment. Strategically, we changed our ticket prices for the postseason because we just want people to come out and experience it. Adult tickets are $10, which there's an argument that's half price in the regular season. Kids tickets are $5. If you're 12 and under, you get in for free. So there's really no reason. We said, let's take out any optical issues of someone not wanting to come to a game. You know, Coors Light's a sponsor. There's 2-for-1 Coors Lights all game long. You know, we have our face painter, our blue and twister, our rock wall. So I would encourage anyone to come out. We're averaging 3,300 in our playoff, which is about 1,000 more than any other team right now. Looking to fill the place tonight and tomorrow night.
Especially, too, John, some of the dates haven't been weekend friendly either, and you've still had that kind of crowd. That's got to be impressive.
Yes, it is. And that's a nice way to put it, not weekend friendly. So, but again, we got a ton of support. We appreciate what the media partners have done. I think there's a great article on the Inform about what you can expect to see if you've not been here. It's really not about hockey. That's just what we're doing on the ice, and that's fun. But if you're not a hockey fan, there's a lot of entertainment. And we're thrilled, and the front office staff works extremely hard. The coaching staff has given a great product, which helps on the ice. And there are some talented kids out there. You said some amazing plays, which is fun.
To do this 6 times, I don't know, you've been part of this now for over a decade. There are some franchises in the USHL that have never made it. This is the 6th time since the team's been around now for 15 years. I mean, that's almost half. Describe that.
It's unbelievable. And a stat that we saw since we've entered the league, we've made it 6 times, like you said. The next closest club has only been 3 times in the finals. We've been there 6. But I think it's a testament of what is Fargo sports. I think people expect NDSU Bison to get there in football. They expect it in basketball. I think they expect us and the Red Hawks to follow suit. And we're just pleased to say we've been able to do that. You know, Kerry Eads has been a great addition. He's been here for many years now helping. Matt Cullen joined on the ownership group, and, you know, he's helping a ton. And I can't say enough about what Nick Oliver, Chad Demers, Andrew McGarrett all have done on the ice. Carter Career is our goalie coach, top 2 goalies in the year, I think, all year. I mean, it really is fun to watch this come together.
Are you surprised that how much it has been embraced in the community, where you and I remember used to talk, like after the first of the year, you knew the attendance was going to go like this, that it's been this consistent for this long? It's become a thing now, Jon, that people know to count on it to go, let alone if the product is good, but it's become a thing for people to go and watch the games.
Yeah, it's been nice to see. I can tell you right now, the front office staff is never satisfied, though. I think if you look and you come, we try to keep it fresh every year. We never want to rest and say we've arrived and we're supported. I mean, the addition of the rock wall this last year in the corner was unbelievable. The amount of kids that parents might not like it, but the kids love it. So we're going to continue that and push the envelope and make sure we stay relevant with everybody. But it's so fun because you think about year 15, you could have some down years. It could be challenging, but it's our second best year in franchise history for attendance, and that excludes playing 2 games, one in Dallas and one in Moorhead.
That's really, really. You think by now that it's hard not to get stale. That's the thing. I think I'm assuming already you're planning out for next season, or does that start as soon whenever this series ends? That all right, what are we doing for next year?
Well, we've already started prior to this because there's certain things, and we're working on the schedule right now. So the wheels are in motion. We've already seen our second half of the schedule. We're already working on when our home opener might be. And it's how do we get creative? How do we try new things? And the one exciting thing with the staff, they're not afraid to try. What's the worst thing? It doesn't work. As long as we think that, hey, is it family friendly? Does it make sense? I think we can do some great things, but we've also built some really niche events, like Hometown Heroes is an event that sells out every year, gives back to the local people. Sanford's been a huge partner with their Children's Night. So we continue to find these little events within our games to make it great.
So white out tonight, so everybody has to wear white. First 2,000 fans tonight get a free white shirt, playoff shirt. The jersey combos as well. You guys have changed that up through the years. I can't even keep count now. There's a couple of really cool ones, but that's something as well that you've changed throughout the years.
Yeah, we this year we got a little heavy with specialty jerseys, maybe more than we wanted to, but you touched on it. Our playoff shirts arrived today, our 2,000 giveaway shirts. They look amazing. One force is what they say. The guys will be wearing white tonight. So we really encourage everyone to wear white or come get their shirt, put it on right away.
Game 1 tonight, 7 o'clock. Game 2 tomorrow night at 6 against Youngstown. Does it seem fitting, Jon, that it's Youngstown that you guys are playing? That's the team that you beat a few years ago to win this thing.
Well, let's hope it repeats itself, but you got the two opposite ends, 1,042 miles between the two clubs. And Youngstown, they're troopers. They played their game 4 on, Tuesday night, got on the bus, arrived yesterday. They got to play, and we'll be doing the same. We'll be leaving right away midweek to get there to play on Friday.
Yeah, that's the crazy part about this time of year and the travel part of this as well. I mean, I know you don't want to think about Game 5, but if you have a Game 5 here, May the 23rd. I mean, is that tie or the latest the ice has ever been in at Shields Arena?
That would be the latest that's ever been in at Shields Arena if we have to go to that point. So let's hopefully we can win in 3 or 4 and move on.
Well, like a day like today or even yesterday when it's 80 degrees, how is it in there? I mean, granted, the rink is 15 years old, 16 years old. How does it handle up now at this time of year?
So it's challenging. I mean, we got the building probably down to 55 degrees, so we're going to start really cool to try to help out. We will tweak, like our first intermission. We won't do any sort of entertainment because we want the Zambonis on and off. We still do chuck-a-puck, but that'll be something our ice crew, Tony Theory and his team, will be working diligently to try to get the best possible ice. But you get 4,000 people and all that body temp and the doors open, it's going to get warm and it's hot, and we just want to make it the best we can.
So you also are looking at the weather for a completely different reason, like when the Red Hawks are looking at it. You're looking at it saying, all right, well, if it's this warm, we need to adjust, like setting a thermometer for even cooler, right?
Yes, absolutely. And we've been fortunate. We're probably the only ones that like the late snow and the late spring because it really helped us all through the year. This is our first big challenges this weekend.
To have this kind of success, you've been doing this for a while. Is this, I don't know if surprising is the right word, but what is, I guess, the biggest thing, the biggest takeaway, maybe most eye-opening takeaway you've had in your years of doing this job?
eye-opening is how hard it is to get to this point. And once you do, this is probably the first year for me and even the staff. There's a different nervousness. Maybe it's because we've been one all year or whatever, but it takes a ton of energy. And some clubs haven't been there since we've been in the league. So to do it, it's really an honor. Carrie Eads reminds me of that every day, that it takes a lot of effort by the coaches, the staff, everyone to make it happen. I think that's the biggest eye-opening thing. Maybe, at times we maybe take it for granted because we've done it before.
Will you get to actually watch the game tonight? Or, I mean, you're doing a million different things. Will you be able to just sit and stop and watch for a little while?
I'm sure I will, because that's over all my time. I became a huge hockey fan, and it's so fun to see. But first things first, we got to get everyone in the building, get them sit down, and then hopefully we can watch a little bit, and then hopefully we're celebrating a win after game one.
Well, between this, you had the regional. I mean, it's been a grind, hasn't it?
It has. We had a concert on Wednesday night. We had to convert to get ready for this. We have a concert next Sunday. We have the Little Wayne concert that's been rescheduled.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Week. So, it's been challenging, but I'll tell you, we wouldn't trade it for the world. I mean, hosting the West Regional or the NCAA Regional has given us a lot of ideas. So if you came to the building, you'll have a similar feel. There's a lot of branding. There's a lot of things we've done to try to make sure it feels like playoff hockey or the Clark Cup Finals.
Always great to chat. I really appreciate you doing this on short notice. Enjoy the games this weekend. Good luck, and we'll talk again soon, okay?
Sounds good. Thanks for having us on.
Good to see you, bud. There he goes. Jon Kram, general manager out at Shields Arena. The Force in Youngstown open up game 1 of the Clark Cup Finals tonight, 7 o'clock. Game 2, Saturday night at 6. The Force going for a second league championship. Games 3 and 4 out in Youngstown next weekend. Crazy, we're still playing hockey. The Force have been dynamite all year. We'll see what happens beginning tonight. We'll take a break. We come back. Our resident angler who joins us every year on the show, our guy Jared Piepenburg, will join us to get us ready for the greatest day of the year on his calendar, the Minnesota Fishing Opener. We'll do that when Hot Mike returns right after this. Welcome back, everybody. Oh, yes, look at those shots. I don't know if it's going to look that crystal clear tomorrow, but it is fishing opener weekend in Minnesota. And each year we have our guy, Jared Piepenburg from WDAY Weather, stop by, storm tracker, meteorologist here, fisher du jour, angler du jour. It's great to see you, man.
Yeah.
This is Christmas Eve, right? Wrapped up into one.
Pretty
happening,
much,
right?
Pretty much, yeah. It's an exciting time. I always look forward to this night.
Okay, so when it's like April, like last month this time, April 12th, and we still got a ton of snow, or what's going through your mind of like, how is this going to happen for May 13th?
It always makes me think back to the late ice outs, which are usually some of my worst openers.
Yeah.
So I'm like, come on, can get off the lake a little sooner. So, which is it has been the case in southern Minnesota.
Yeah.
Like where my folks live, kind of south of St. Cloud. Ice has been off for weeks.
For a while?
And weeks
Okay.
now. So it's been open water. So it's most likely all the lakes are much warmer down there. But some of these up here, I just did a Weather Wednesday, and I was out at the lake on Friday.
Yeah.
There was still some ice this last weekend.
Seriously?
Around
Wow.
here. I grabbed the satellite imagery from Friday, and big cormorants, pelican had some on it, Star Lake. So there were some that.
Jeez.
I just went out to the lake to put my boat in south of Holly, and there's snow on the ground on the south shorelines. That was last Friday in the shaded
Theoretically,
area.
it's gone now, right? We had 80 yesterday.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, it should be. So we'll see here.
So with that, how late and how cold it was, what does that mean for spawning, and what's the chance for a good day tomorrow?
Good day. I mean, I'm gonna be fishing, so it'll be.
It's a good day
Yes.
in that general term.
But catching wise, that's always a big question mark. I've been kind of like, I don't know. I go out every year like this, but sometimes it's just tougher than others.
Yeah.
Where they're at, can depend so much on just the water temperature too. So. There's a guy from my hometown that's a pro walleye guy. His name's John Hoyer. He's done really well recently in the past few years. And I just heard him on another podcast across Minnesota. And I was tuning in, and I'm like, all right, I know some of that. But sometimes it's good to hear those things that, like, oh, I haven't thought about
Reinforce
that.
that.
Yeah, he's just kind of said, kind of look for some of the warmest temperatures that, go tool around with your boat when you first get on there. And the north shorelines a lot of times will warm up first just from our sun angle right now. And also he pointed out with the rain that we've got, any water that's flowing into these lakes, that'll give a little bit of current. That was another thing. He's like, there's going to be walleyes up.
I saw Dylan do one. I forget where he was. They saw the temperature was like 54 or 55 degrees. Is that what is that? I know it's cold.
Yeah.
How much does that hurt for tomorrow, if at all?
For like actual temperature?
Yeah, just for.
I mean, it's going to be cool. I think the diehards that go out on opener, that
doesn't matter.
Yeah. It's the mornings where you're like, man, it dipped down to 38. I've been out on those. I've seen snow on openers. But
I've been snowed on out there.
Yeah. There's been so many openers where it just briefly drops to those 30s, and you're not moving. You're just sitting here like this, holding your rod, just trolling at night, and that gets cold. Even when you love it, you're like, man, I'm getting kind of cold.
Yeah.
I got my winter boots on, and my toes are still cold. There's one thing being in an ice house, with a buddy heater, and you're covered. So, even if it's 10 below outside, you're in your little flip over, and it's nice and warm in there. But the boat, it's open water. Water temps are maybe in the 40s. It's a different type of cold that you'll be fighting.
Now, I know I've asked you this over the last couple of years, but for people that we're now on in Sioux Falls. I don't know if you know that. We're on in Sioux Falls now. So for people that don't know, Jared is routinely, you go out tonight. You're out there at midnight. Tell me about the first time you did that and what got you about going out late, or late or quote unquote early to be out there first. How did you start it, and was it right away you got hooked that, okay, I'm going to do this right away?
Yeah, well, my dad and I just both love to fish, and then it just was like, all right, something to look forward to. You can actually fish for walleyes legally in Minnesota, legally fish for pike too, because we like fishing for both. That was like, oh, let's start. We started at going out, at like 3 or 4 in the morning. So just right at the tail end. I think that because I was really young, so I think my dad was thinking he can get some sleep. I can get some sleep, too. Yep. But then it slowly moved to like, hey, we're catching most of them when it's dark. So let's go out right at midnight, So you dump the boat in at 11 p.m.
Yeah.
Sometimes, closer to midnight. Eventually we started getting closer to midnight because we knew where we wanted to fish. So then you just go right there and like, let's start doing that. So I don't know. I've been doing it for so long.
That's awesome.
I like that. It's just, if you get the walleyes and then you go home at like 7 a.m., you still got a clean fish. So then you're like, I'm ready for bed. And it's like 9:15 in the morning. Everyone else is up and you're just
You're a zombie, right?
You're walking around like a zombie, like trying to do the last minute, like clean off the fillets so they look super nice. Put them in some water. Put them in the fridge. Like just want to hit.
Just
the
want to
pillow.
be done,
Just
right?
want to hit the pillow for a little bit.
When did you start noticing there was a lot more? Was it always there were people out there, or was it over the last few years or 10, 15 years that more and more people have gone out at midnight?
I feel like it depended on the lake
Okay.
and certain years too.
Okay.
Because sometimes we get there and like there'd be one boat.
Yeah.
You know, we pull up at 11:15 and there's one boat there. And last year I feel like one of the lakes we went to, it was almost packed.
No
It was like,
kidding.
oh man, you know. So
Wow.
it just kind of depends on the year and the lake and maybe word of mouth. Like, oh, I think it's going to be
Okay.
good on this lake.
Now, is there people out there enforcing it? Is there anybody out there to say, hey, if it's 11:30, get out of here? Is there anybody like that or no?
I don't know. I feel like one opener at night we got checked.
No
over
kidding.
the years.
Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, they pull up to you and then,
Yeah.
they got their flashlights and they usually they'll call over to you like, hey, it's DNR. We're
Yep.
just going to come up quick. Want to check license, let you know. And, I'm sure that they figured people that are out there at midnight, they're going to have all that stuff. But I mean, they're just doing their job. So it's fun to just like chat with them. Also, most of those guys are fishermen too.
I was going to say, they're doing it right.
It's probably more for them like, have you guys got anything yet? And that year, I think we got checked. It was like 20 minutes in, and I think we already had a walleye or two in the boat. So it was like a good year. And they're like, oh man, that's fun. They're probably like, I'm going to be back here tomorrow night.
That's
something like
fantastic.
that.
I don't hate me for asking you about the weather, but what is the weather looking like here for tonight and tomorrow?
Yeah, just in the break, we were kind of chatting. Like, kind of seems like a die-hard weekend here. There's going to be an east breeze, maybe at 12 to 14 miles per hour. So the west side of the lake's going to have a decent walleye chop all weekend, or not all weekend, but Saturday. And it's going to be up tonight too. I think it'll be kind of breezy lakes area just east of Fargo. So dealing with that always makes it feel a little cooler. And then there's going to be some scattered showers, which has been tough to pinpoint exactly where those will be. So I'm probably going to wear my winter gear because it's waterproof too.
Yeah.
And you just sit there for
Grin and
hours.
bear it, right?
So, I'd rather be warm and sweaty. You can always take off stuff
Correct.
instead of like getting cold and then like, oh, now I want to put stuff on,
Nope.
but I'm already cold. So
Or wet.
Yeah.
That's the worst.
I'll be in the scenario of like looking like the, I don't know, Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Yeah, like Gumby, I'm hearing. Yeah. So, yeah, I'll look like that and I don't know. Be comfortable.
But you know what? You love it. And that's you wouldn't want to be anywhere else. And that's the part, for whatever people love, and there are thousands that are going to be out doing it this weekend. They wouldn't want to be anywhere else. That's the part I admire about for this particular weekend. No matter anytime I went out and did a story on Fishing Opener, and most of the time the weather was not great, that it did not knock down the level of enthusiasm for people that were out there. That I thought was really admirable.
Yeah,
It's pretty cool.
It's just a neat thing. I have another friend. He calls it amateur weekend. So.
Yeah, well, that's right. Bad day of fishing is better than a good day of work, right?
Yeah,
That's pretty accurate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, that's last week I worked in the morning, and then I worked to bring out the boat to go do that Weather Wednesday and make sure it was running.
That was work for that day? Yeah, I gotcha.
I mean, get some cool video with that. But yeah, opening weekend, I have a blast. My buddy calls it amateur weekend because there are people that just they go out and they just don't do it very often.
This is maybe the one time of the year they go,
yeah,
right?
But it's like, at least they're out there fishing. I don't care either way.
Now, I know you don't want to give away where you're going to go, but are there good spots that you've heard that are going to be popular, or is it kind of random this weekend?
Everyone knows their little small lakes and stuff. Since we've had rain and we're going to have some this weekend, I would do like Hoyer said. There's going to be those little inlets that bring in some extra water. Find those. I would try those first. I'd try up really shallow too myself. Some of those walleyes, you'd be surprised, they may be in 2 feet of water. So. There's sometimes I troll, sometimes I'll actually cast and like almost hitting the shore.
Wow.
Which is tough too because you're at night and you can't see exactly. So if you hook a tree,
yeah,
right? That's the way it is, right?
One year I did a story out there at midnight from the shore, from the dock, and I get like 4 or 5 of them that night. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Like, it was unbelievable.
Yeah, you can go out in your waders too. If you don't have a boat, just go find those places and those places, I mean, you can go lake hop during the night too, because you can't do that with your boat. But
it's pretty cool stuff. Thanks for coming by, man. Good luck this weekend. Stay warm, all right?
Thank you.
Good luck. There he goes, Jared Piepenburg, WDOI Storm Tracker meteorologist, getting us ready for the Minnesota Fishing Opener, 11:59 tonight. Everybody be ready to rock and roll. We'll take a break. We come back. You'll meet the newest Bison football commit, about why he decided to go to NDSU. It's been a lifelong dream. You'll meet Nate Tastad when we come back right after this. Welcome back, everybody. Mentioned this earlier. Yeah, it is. Happy birthday to former Bison All-American wide receiver Christian Watson. Suddenly, wide receiver one for Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers this upcoming season. Our thanks to Jared Piepenburg for stopping by. Always great to talk with Jared. You love the passion, enthusiasm, I know, for so many about this weekend for the fishing opener. Excited to see, hopefully, people get a nice haul. I mean, weather-wise, it looks like it's going to be tough, as Jared was mentioning, but we'll keep our fingers crossed that the rain is able to stay away. Not just for that, with the Summit League track championships, the Bison playing baseball, there's plenty of outdoor spring sports happening over the next couple days, so hopefully we're able to get most of that stuff in. We mentioned yesterday on the show, the Bison picked up their third football commit for the class of 2024, and again, all from the state of North Dakota. First in was Isaiah St. Romain from Williston, followed by Peter Haugo from Fargo North, and now Nate Tastad from Rolette, North Dakota. North Prairie Co-op, Rollo, Rock Lake, and Rolette committed yesterday morning. Big man, 6'5", 260-pound offensive lineman in that 9-man sweet spot the Bison have owned over the last decade plus, that they have turned into not only starters for the Bison, but now over the last couple of years, National Football League players that have been drafted in Cordell Volson and Cody Mauk. I had a chance to visit with Nate yesterday, get his thoughts about why he committed, why he chose NDSU, and what his prospects are at the Division I level. Here's our conversation we had with Nate Tastad.
I mean, the combination of their history, what they can do to build up a player like me, everyone's seen it. Mauk and Volson, same type of player that I am. And I know that they can build me up to that point. Close to home, always been a Bison fan. Remember watching him when I was just little. So really a dream come true for sure.
Coach Keller shared that photo with me. Tell me about that, about watching my broadcast partner, Kyle Emanuel. Tell me, how much has Bison football been a part of your life?
It's been a huge part. Every Saturday since I was little, I watched them, look forward to watching them on TV every Saturday. And then, you go to bed dreaming about being in the same jersey as them, and I'll have that opportunity. So it's pretty exciting.
When, in your mind, did Division I football become a reality? When was something like, okay, I'm being told I'm good enough, I can play?
Well, last summer when I got offered, I guess I really did not expect. It was definitely a shocker to get offered at camp there, and I was like, I guess this is the thing now. I have some opportunities, so it was then. I knew I always wanted to play football, but
talking with Coach Keller about that last year after you came to NDSU and you came to Fargo in the camp, how much did life change after the Bison offer, and how busy did your phone get after that?
A lot busier. It was like coaches are following me on Twitter, and I don't really know, like, I'm totally new to this. I was just kind of thrown in the fire, it felt like, but got it figured out pretty much, narrowed it down to a few teams. Didn't try to go overboard.
Did it ever get overwhelming though? Did it ever seem like, boy, this is a lot to handle right now?
By the end, I was ready to commit. I was ready to get done with the recruiting process and just focus on football this summer, next fall, So it's good to be done with that.
Describe the season you guys had last year. You had a great year. You were so close to making it to the Dome. Tell me about that, the way it ended, and trying to carry that over for this fall.
Yeah, it was a really fun season. Did not end how we envisioned, that's for sure. Really felt like we had some opportunities to beat New Salem in New Salem, kind of let that slip away from us. They were a really good team, and we get to build off that this year. A little bit of a chip on our shoulder, knowing that we were that close to make it to the Dome. Starts this summer though for us. We got football camps next month, so pretty excited for that.
What is it like knowing you got a lot of eyeballs on you? Like last fall, going out and playing, after you got the offer from the Bison and the UND offer came in, did you feel that there was more attention on you as the season went along?
Yeah, I guess definitely more than I'm ever used to or really would like to have, I guess. It definitely seemed like people made it a pretty big deal. So
you mentioned it off the top of you look at the track record NDSU has with guys from 9-man towns, Hankinson, Balfour, Winemere, Beach, even Carson Schuning played at North Prairie, as you well know. Describe that of seeing 9-man guys go and not even make it to the NFL, but go and start and play well for the Bison. How big a deal was that for you?
That definitely played a major factor in my decision, knowing that where I'm going, they know exactly how to get me ready and put me in the position to start.
Coach Hedberg talked to me about just your raw athleticism. Have they talked to you at all about any position? Is it guard? Is it tackle? Or is that something they're going to figure out once you get there?
From my knowledge, they were originally looking at me for tackle, but that's all up for change, so much time in between there. But I think that was the original plan. So.
All right. So what are the big plans tonight? Is it track practice? You got to meet? Are you going to celebrate? What's the plan now that you announced this? What's the plans?
Track practice, go home, do chores, and go to bed. Nothing special.
Do you have anything planned to celebrate that this is over and done with, or not so much?
Not really.
No.
Not really. But
how big a deal has it been at school today?
It's been a pretty big deal. A bunch of classmates and, teachers and everyone congratulating me. But so I figured that would happen. I don't know.
All three of the guys so far for the class of 24 have all been North Dakota guys. Have you had a chance to connect with Isaiah and Peter yet?
Yeah, I have them on Snapchat, and we're in a group chat. We're looking to get some more North Dakota kids in that get committed. It's up to us to help get guys committed to the Bison so we can be a good team someday.
Nate, my last question for you. About 2 years ago, before you even went to the Bison camp, I would have told you 2 years later you're going to be a Division I football player. Would you have believed me?
I don't even think that was going through my head. I was just trying to remember the plays on offense, probably. It's just I've just tried to work as hard as I can and just let everything else fall into place for me. And that's worked really well.
You have a preference to play defense? I know you play both on both sides. Was defense an option for the next level, or you know what? I'm good on the offensive line.
I like offensive line a lot better. That's what my dad played.
Yeah.
I've always, when I was little in kindergarten, kids were wanting to play running back and receiver. I was like, yeah, I'm going to play offensive line. That's what I'm going to do. So
tell me about that. Like everybody, you hear people want to be quarterback, running back, wide receiver. You wanted to be an O-lineman. Tell me about that.
Definitely stemmed from my dad showing me the ropes of the offensive line when I was little. We do just little technique things even when I was in elementary sense, I guess. So just brought up as an offensive lineman.
There's our conversation with Nate Tastad. Pretty good stuff there. And I think that last line, raised to be an offensive lineman, that's the best way to describe the kind of football player that the Bison are getting. And that photo we shared with it yesterday on the air of him watching Kyle and that initial Bison dynasty run start in the early 2010s, again, goes to show of what that impact, which is now, it's 10 years in August of the victory over Kansas State, what that group meant now to future guys that are going to go and play for the Bison. That's pretty cool stuff. So congratulations to Nate. I know he wasn't planning anything huge, as you heard him say, but it's a big deal. And could tell the reverberations felt around that one just because 9-man guys have had this unreal run right now. And I say right now, it's been going on for a while. My buddy Landon Leckler, our good friend Mike Zier at Beach, can tell you all about that, of when that started. He and Jack Plankers, I know Jack was from Kindred, not a 9-man school, but Beach, North Dakota, to make it all the way to the starting right tackle for the Bison. That was a big deal. And I won't forget, there was that game, I think it was 2017, the Bison had, you had Macville, you had Balfour, you had Granville, you had, I'm going to forget one here, all represented on the offensive line. It was really cool stuff, that just all 9-man towns being represented up front. Rolla was represented because Shooning was playing. It was good stuff, and that has continued over now, and it's not just the linemen. There's been skill guys, but as I got an email say last night, how many have done this that are now that are offensive linemen playing in the National Football League? And you just shake your head now that it's happened over the last couple of years, including just 2 weeks ago when we were down in Hankinson to celebrate what happened with Cody Mauch that night, going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We are due for our last break. We haven't done the Jet schedule. Should we indulge myself at least for a little bit? on that before we wrap up the week. We'll give you a live look into what's going on at track as well and wrap up our week on Hot Mic. We'll do that after this on WDAY Extra, KSFL TV, and Inforum.com. Welcome back, everybody. Wrapping up our show here and the week. Looking live up at NDSU in the home of the Summer League Track Championships. You can live stream everything now. Coverage began at 10. Everything moved up an hour because of the impending weather. Right now, the heptathlon and the decathlon are wrapping up their events. The field events will begin at 2 o'clock with the long jump, and then events on the track begin at 3:30 with the 110 meter hurdles. That'll get things started. A busy day there. So hopefully Mother Nature can cooperate and steer clear of us and be able to get everything in. But you can stream everything in forum.com. WDAY Sports Plus will be your home for everything you need there. Since Eric made the trouble of making the schedule, we've done the Vikings. We did the Commanders for Logan. We haven't indulged myself yet on the Jets. So can we do that briefly here before we do what to watch and get out of here for the week, which, as everyone knows, apparently now the Jets are the NFL's darlings with Aaron Rodgers on the team. They open up on Monday Night Football to open the season against the Bills. We knew that. Week 2, a game with Dallas. Of course, that's going to be a late game because there's going to be the Cowboys. Then the Patriots. I see 3 wins right there. Then the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football. It's been at least a decade since the Jets have been on Sunday Night Football. At least. The butt fumble game is probably the last time, and that was 2012. So that's 11 years ago. That's going to be awesome. That's going to be rocking, that game in New York. Then at the Broncos, home for the Eagles. That's going to be a monster one. 2011? Really? Oh, the butt fumble game was a Thanksgiving game. That's right. So it was 2011? Who they play? 2011. Because the butt fumble game was Thanksgiving night. I always think that was Sunday night. That was Thanksgiving. After the bye week at the Giants, which is fun because that's a home game in the Battle of New York. Monday Night Football with the Chargers and Justin Herbert. That'll be fun. Sunday night at the Raiders. Look at all these nationally televised games. Can't get over it. At the Bills. Then the Black Friday game with the Dolphins. Then the schedule finally opens up. Atlanta and Houston at the Dolphins. The Commanders on Christmas Eve. The Browns on another Thursday night. So the Jets are I think the Jets and the Steelers are a couple of teams that got the Thursday games. And then they end with the Patriots to wrap up the season. Like I said yesterday, I don't see a loss on the schedule. I say that every year about the Jets, even if they didn't have Aaron Rodgers. Conservatively, I look at this. I think 12-5. You got to be. If you go and trade for Aaron Rodgers, you got to win that many games. 13, 12 wins. And they got some doozies. Dallas, Buffalo, Kansas City, Philly, the Chargers. I'm overlooking the Giants because I know that's probably going to be harder than I think. Miami's not bad because all you Dolphin fans out there are going to get on me. Those are the toughies. After that, they should be favored to beat the Patriots, and the Patriots swept the Jets last year. They haven't beat the Patriots in like 8 years, something crazy like that. The Browns, they should beat. Commanders, they should beat. The Dolphins, or the Texans and the Falcons, they should take care of. The Bills, they split with last year. The Raiders, they should win. Chargers will be tough. Oh, it's going to be fun. Can't wait of what's on tap for this upcoming season. It was New England in 2011 was the last time that the Jets were on Sunday Night Football. For my pops, this is games for him for the Steelers. Of course they're on TV all the time. They're the Steelers. And they also got hosed because they have 2 Thursday night games as well this season. They play the Patriots on a Thursday. You see that in December. And then against the Titans in November. Both of them are home games as well. You see a Sunday night game against the Seahawks. They've got a game at the Raiders early on. The second Monday Night Football game against the Browns. They open up with the 49ers. That'll be tough. At the Rams, rematch of Super Bowl 10, 11. I have to look that one up. Packers go to Pittsburgh. That'll always be fun. That usually would be a 325 game, but the star power for each of these franchises is a bit down. At the Bengals, Cardinals. I mean, we'll see. Pittsburgh always gets the eyeballs, so we'll be interested to see that. We did that for the Pops. Oh, we got to do the Packers, of course. Why not? Thanksgiving against the Lions. Still a ton of national TV here. Thursday night with Detroit, too. At a Monday night game with the Raiders. Sunday night with the Chiefs at Lambeau in December. Might be chilly. Monday night game with the Giants. And, of course, we mentioned the New Year's Eve game against the Vikings. We'll break all this down. We got plenty of time to do it between now and Labor Day weekend. All right, let's get you ready for what to watch here on this Friday. Of course, we got Summer League track that's underway now on WDAY Sports Plus. You can check that out as the events are going all the way to about 7 o'clock tonight. They are in the middle of the decathlon. We should probably get men's decathlon out of there. Only the men do the decathlon. The women do the hap, but that's just me. But it's Bryce Enerson from NDSU about to do the discus. So that's going on now. You can flip that on as soon as we get done here on WDAY Sports Plus. Cubs and Twins coming up tonight on Apple TV. Again, it's not a Bally Sports game. It's on Apple TV tonight for the start of a 3-game set between the Cubs and the Twins. And it's Game 6, Warriors-Lakers tonight. The Lakers again trying to knock out the champs. Golden State trying to force a Game 7. Our thanks today to Nate Tastad, to Jared Piepenburg, Jon Kram, and Logan Campbell. If you missed any of our show, you can podcast it later today at Inforum.com. Have a great weekend, everybody, wherever you go. If it's the force or fishing, enjoy it. Happy Mother's Day to everybody, including my mom. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you on Monday.
First man walk to the far end, then turn towards the glass.